They'll share a little bit of information about their company, their progress, etc. Think about it as a demo day that you've seen live, but without all the commuting. After that, there'll be 5 minutes for Q&A after every pitch. And then one of our sponsors will share just a little bit of information about themselves before we hop into the next pitch. So to start, we're going to have 4 companies presenting today. We're going to have Viewpoint Sims going first, followed by OneRange, followed by Atronis, and then followed by a company called Mixo. From there, for all the founders that are on this call that were not selected to pitch today, stick around because one random audience member is going to get selected to pitch their startup as well. So have your deck ready and get ready to answer some questions. After that, at the end, we're going to share a link to vote for whoever we think the winner is. The winner will get a prize package from all of us here at Decko, Forecaster, Kino, Startup Stack, and WeFunder. So with that, we're going to leave just a few more minutes for some people to hop in, and then we'll be ready to get started. If in the meantime any of our other sponsors want to hop on the stage and say a quick hello to everyone, you're more than welcome to hop in while the last of us are getting started. I see Raviv shaking his head no, so I'm going to go ahead and put him on the stage first. I actually am not allowed to because he's the head of this. It's very smart of you, Raviv. Instead, there he is.
I just came on stage. Raviv, I'm the founder of Kino Live. This is a new technology that we created for people to connect on and without feeling disconnected or like separated in different rooms. The way we offer our services is an online video workspace for remote teams that can actually get the experience to work side by side, even being remote. It's how me and my team work. It's how we've been working for the past 2 years, and we are hiring from all over the world. It's kind of exciting to see people from different cultures and backgrounds just collaborate in harmony like that on a Kino, just like you experience right now when you hop between the different spaces. So I hope that you had a good experience so far. And Rob, what do you say? We're gonna start with the pitch companies.
Yeah, we got another 2 minutes before we're scheduled to start. So if Jeff or Jonathan or Michael wants to hop on stage real quick to say a quick hello to everyone, you're also more than welcome to hop in.
So let's get Jeff on stage. I'm gonna remove myself.
Jeff, you're up.
All right. How do I get on stage?
You're already there.
I'm there. I'm on stage. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Jeff Erickson. I'm with Forecaster. You'll hear a little bit about us here, I guess, at one of the stages. But I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. And Forecaster, in a nutshell, makes financial modeling easy for founders. So as you guys are pitching financials, that's something we help a lot of founders with is, getting those financial slides, making sure you understand your numbers, you know them when you start to get asked, about your ARR or MRR or your KPIs and all that stuff. We help you to kind of navigate that as you're presenting to investors. So that's a little bit about Forecaster. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for including us, Robert.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming in. And we have about 45 seconds. So Jonathan, if you want to hop in, and then we're going to invite Steve onto the stage to present his company.
Oh, this is great. No, this platform has got me hyped. Like, this is fun. It's good to meet you all. I'm Jonathan Engel at the Startup Stack, and we just want to extend your runway and help you to just operate with excellence. And so we've aggregated millions of dollars in discounts for your startup that's free for you to access at startupstack.com. So everything you need from idea to exit is there for you to build your business. And I will say, I'm just excited to hear some pitches. I love pitching. I was practicing some of our own this morning. And this event is sponsored by Popcorner. No, just kidding. I wish I could send you all popcorners. It's my new favorite snack. So anyway, good to meet you all.
Good to have you here, Jonathan. All right, and without further ado, we are ready to get started. First up today, we have Steve Gilman, founder and CEO of, we have Fiona Hayes, founder of Viewpoint Sims, who's going to be presenting first. Fiona, why don't you hop onto the stage now? Raviv, if you want to bring Fiona onto the stage along with her deck, we'll be ready to get started. Or Fiona, if you have your deck handy, you'll be able to share your screen.
I think it's up. Can you
Great.
see it?
Raviv, can we get that into the main stage for everyone to see?
Fiona, I just need to share. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay. Can you see my deck there?
It's activating as we speak.
It's activating.
Worst case, Raviv can. Oh, there we go. All right, we're in business.
Okay, so I'm Fiona. I run a company called Viewpoint. We make role-playing simulation software for primarily higher education, although we are in 2 high school programs right now as well, so that's exciting. My colleague is actually the inventor of Viewpoint. She is an instructor at the University of Michigan, and she was looking for a way to teach her students how a bill becomes a law without lecturing to them in the classroom. So she created Viewpoint as a SaaS platform that allows instructors to assign their students to play the roles of the senators, the members of the House of Representatives, and they can work together to make that happen. So one of the problems that we've identified in higher education right now is a lack of engagement. We know that student engagement is an ongoing challenge in higher education right now, especially with our transition to distance learning. Many instructors are seeking new ways to engage with their students on these online remote platforms. We also know that students who are engaged have better learning outcomes in the classroom. And then we also see challenges in higher education with cultivating soft skills. So we know that soft skills, interpersonal skills are critical for the workforce as they leave the university system. And that's something that engaging students helps teach. Our solution that Viewpoint provides is engaging learners through role-playing simulation. So it's a platform that allows the instructors to have all of the tools and resources that they need right at the tips of their fingers. We can do that whether it's in-person, online, hybrid learning. We're used right now in about 20 universities. So most of these are in the US, but we do have one university that's based in Rwanda, and they serve actually 7 countries across the African continent. We have subscriptions ranging from $1,000 for a single simulation all the way up to $5,000 for an annual subscription. And that's actually trending upwards as we get bigger and bigger contracts. 75% of our current contracts are renewals. So instructors who have used Viewpoint in the past are looking to use it again the following year. And we also have, surprisingly, already a 4% cold email outreach conversion to trial rate. So that's been exciting for us as well. Our market size is 12.5 million post-secondary teachers across the world. Right now, we're specifically concentrating on the US market. So average class size.
We lost Fiona.
Oh no, we lost her.
Yeah, Robert, I'm going to get you back on stage and we can proceed.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll just let her right back in. Sounds like she.
This one, no.
We have the wrong.
Yeah, Robert, you are on stage. Fiona dropped you to a bad connection.
All right, awesome. So while she is if someone wants to go ahead and shoot her an email because she's probably still pitching as we speak. But so far, what she's doing seems pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and let her pitch at the end. And from there, we'll move on to the next pitch. So she'll come back in and pitch when we're done before the guest comes in to pitch. So with that, looks like she's actually entering right back into the keynote as we speak. So Raviv, if you want to bring her back onto the stage, that would be awesome.
Fiona, we're back with you. We lost you there.
I know. Okay, well, I'll just wrap up here. We are expanding through our existing university partners. We're in some big universities across the US and Africa already. Strategic partnerships at academic conferences, we have a handful lined up as well. Grant proposals for researchers, we've already completed one. We have another underway. And then also email and newsletter campaigns are traditional aspects of marketing. So in terms of competitors, Viewpoint, there are existing pre-designed simulations that instructors can download from. We do have 50 of those in our current library of simulations, but Viewpoint really has a niche where it allows instructors to go into the platform and build their own simulations based on what they need for their individual course learning outcomes and objectives. So that's what we're doing at Viewpoint. Some of our competitive advantages, we have an LTI integration through Canvas, which is one of the main learning platforms for higher ed. We target the specific needs of online instructors and large group settings. Our platform is intuitive and easy to use, and it's highly customizable. And currently, we are looking to raise $1 million in funding so that we can expand and extend our sales and marketing team and also add a little bit more to the development to make it easier for instructors to use.
Awesome. So even with the technical difficulties, you still made it with 15 seconds to spare. That is awesome. So with that, what we'll be able to do is jump right into Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to either throw it into the chat or just go ahead and pop onto the camera. If not, I have a couple questions, but I'll let some other people kind of chime in first.
Fiona, sorry that you had technical difficulties. This was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Super exciting. And curious, you've got some inroads with the universities, and I love the integration with Canva or with Canvas and that platform. Have you thought about expanding beyond universities? What's kind of additional? The first thing that comes to my mind is sales teams. It's like the role plays, training, that type of stuff. Where's your mind kind of in that regard?
Absolutely. So my last job was as a corporate trainer for a large healthcare company. And so I think about that all the time. I think that's our next year project. Right now, we're getting a ton of traffic and interest in higher education. So I want to do that really well before we expand.
Awesome. Yeah, great job, like I said, and despite the technical difficulties.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'll let anyone else, if anyone else wants to hop in real quick. Otherwise, I have a quick question. Okay, cool. So Fiona, can you tell me a little bit about the kinds of simulations that are on Viewpoint Sims now?
Yeah, so with our pre-designed coursework right now, we primarily have business, public health, public policy. We have a little bit of environmental policy on there, and then we also have some crisis simulations relevant for several different areas, but specifically like catastrophe planning and some law simulations as well. So that's where our pre-designed coursework is. We are starting to get some inreach from more healthcare denominations. So a little bit of variety there, but that's really our specialty stemmed in political science, public policy, and business, and is now starting to expand in other directions.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
I just had a quick question. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, cool. I was just going to ask, like, what is the sales cycle like in higher education?
That's a great question. So budget planning in higher education starts around March and April. Sales cycle is an annual sales cycle for us most of the time, although we have seen a couple, we've been getting some inreach from referrals of people who have already been using our platform. So it's a little bit shorter for some of those lower contract values.
So do you see it kind of almost a seasonal flow of like they get budgets approved and you have to make your case before they make their budgets?
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Awesome. And one last question from me. Can you tell us a little bit about the sales cycle?
Yeah, so sales cycle is typically an annual sales cycle, is what we found. So if we start talking to instructors right now, we're in a good place because we have March and April is when they're revisiting budgets. But later in the year, we spent a lot of last summer, we had some last minute contracts come through for the fall academic year, but we also spent a lot of time doing demos and doing trials for instructors who are planning on using it in the 2024 cycle.
Awesome. Got it. Cool. Awesome.
I was going to just jump in real quick. And
yes.
Fiona, I would love to hear a little bit more about your background and how you became the CEO here of the company.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So I was in healthcare. My first career was as an audiologist, so I saw people for hearing loss. And through that, I had the opportunity to teach at the University of Utah. So I've been a University of Utah instructor for almost 5 years. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to work for one of the large hearing aid companies, and my job was as a trainer. So I was supporting our sales team, but also teaching everybody how to use not just our internal team, but our new employees and also our external accounts, how to use our technology. And I really like the tech side of things, and I really like the business side of things. So I decided to go back and pursue my MBA at the University of Utah and started looking for opportunities that would allow me to use the skills and expertise I had developed, but then also get a little bit more of the business side and tech side of things. So this opportunity presented itself, and we are a portfolio company of Summit Venture Studio. So I had interviewed with them, and they brought me on to run Viewpoint.
That is awesome. I love it.
Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
So with that, that wraps up. Fiona, thank you for hopping in, and stick around until the end as well so that we could see if you are today's winner.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. And Raviv, if you want to throw me right back on stage. Cool. All right, everyone. So while we're getting everything set up for Steve, why don't I give you a quick, this is my turn to tell you a little bit about Decko, why we're doing what we're doing, and why we're so excited to have you here. So to start, I mean, many of you probably already know us because I was the one who's been aggressively emailing all of the calendar invitations to all of you. But quick overview on Decko and how we do what we do. We're more than just a pitch deck development firm you may have seen online on Upwork or one of those other platforms. What makes us particularly special is rather than just hiring Robert, which you may see with other consultants, we surround your company with a team of active VCs and designers. Your VC or your principal will create the kind of deck content that they want to see cross their own desk. So if you're an AI company, who better than an AI VC to build that kind of deck content? If you're a SaaS company, who better than a SaaS VC to make the kind of deck content they want to see cross their own desk? From there, our designers then design everything and make it stand out. That's all overseen by our VP of Deck Development, Drew, who is on this call as well somewhere, on this keynote as well somewhere, who's there to make sure that you get exactly what you need and know exactly where you are in the deck development process to keep it running smoothly. And then myself, who gets to work with you on things post-pitch deck, on things like introductions to investors or supporting your company in other ways. Like even something like this, Raviv from Keynote, we actually met through creating a pitch deck with Decko, and now we're using his platform to host our Decko Day. We try to find creative ways to work with the founders that we work with here at Decko and support you beyond just creating a pitch deck. Last piece of information to know about us is we are a team of 50 now, principals and designers, so we'll find the right team for your company. And we've worked with over 200 different companies who've now gone on to raise over $1 billion, which we're really proud of. And so that's a little bit on Decko, how we do what we do, why we do what we do. And with that, we'll jump right into Steve's presentation over at OneRange. So if we want to bring Steve Gilman onto the stage, and there he is. Steve, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Super pumped to be here today, coming at you live from a very frigid New York City. Anybody who's in the Northeast right now, we're feeling the weather, as it were. So excited to pitch for you today. I will pull up the presentation. And just let me know if you can see it when you're ready to roll.
You're in business.
All right. Thanks. I'm going to put my own clock on this so I don't make you put up the flag. Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Gilman, co-founder and CEO of OneRange. We're leading the upskilling revolution. We're in the workforce development space. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the co-founding team. We're lifelong learners who set out on a mission to fix learning and development, as it were, for the corporate world. My background's in mechanical engineering, where I graduated Yale. I played professional baseball for the Detroit Tigers, and I spent about 3 years as an intelligence officer, a year and a half overseas as a diplomat working with Navy Special Warfare. Went back to Columbia Business School, started my first company then, and sold it in 2020 to Live Nation Entertainment. Houtein Fanasalik, one of my best friends for the past 10 years, started 2 companies, sold his last one, an e-commerce business. He's got 2 CS degrees and a computer engineering degree. And we met up about 2 years ago to start brainstorming what we wanted to do next with our lives. And so we're very excited for OneRange and the potential we have. Upskilling, make sure employees get the right resource at the right time, is the best way to keep employees retained and effective. It's a $385 billion market set to double between now and 2030. Most of that's made up of learning content providers, although there's some compliance, there's some tuition reimbursement programs. People need to learn, and companies are now recognizing human resources is pivotal to their success. We know that strong company cultures that have learning are more productive and they're 17% more profitable. We also know that employees will stick around longer if they have the right professional development tools. And 82% of employees believe they will reskill or upskill within the next year just to stay competitive with their peers to do their current job. But we see a huge issue in the corporate world. 67% of employers are not comfortable and confident that they're deploying the right learning and development opportunities. Things like, what's the right resource for my team at the right time? How do I empower people to have flexibility? And how do I track everything going on? And we'll talk about budget as it goes and how we help with that. We see this especially hit small to mid-sized companies, 50 to 1,000 person tech companies where we concentrate, just don't have the resources, the teams, vendor management for bringing in training. And now we're a global remote workforce where everybody has different needs at different times. So we introduced OneRange. It's an intelligent upskilling marketplace, an aggregator of all the content used in the upskilling world delivered in a single platform. We call it intelligence because we leverage the best data on earth to make sure people get the right resource at the right time. We have a partnership model where we have partners that are in network, like Emeritus, LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, and then we have an out-of-network ability. That means an employee can actually grab the resources they need at any time, bring into the platform, and still access them, which is huge. We have over 600 total providers on the system. The way that happens is an employee goes into our marketplace, they search for tools they need or they input their own, they get their manager to approve it, and then we issue a Visa-backed virtual card. This has been a huge unlock. 5 resources per employee per year is the average across the board, right? And they can be for multiple formats: courses, books, conferences, webinars, memberships even for professional development. Visa card is great. It allows employees to get what they need and lowers the barrier for the kind of payment reimbursement model that companies try to use. And for employers, it allows them to easy track, manage, and then have all the security compliance tools around it. At the end of the day, we're using data, right? What does that mean? We're doing skills tagging, we're doing AI-based recommendations, and we're making pathway creations among a huge infrastructure of providers that keep getting added to the platform. At the end of the day, companies get to track, establish, approve, assign. You're basically a people operations or HR person that is running a global program at your fingertips in less than an hour a month. So you don't need to hire up to do this. There's not a huge administrative pull. It's easy and effective upskilling. Business model is usage-based. We're the only ones in the market to do this. We're basically a marketplace that hooks up the corporations to the employees, to the providers, and we only get paid when transactions happen. For an in-partner transaction, we're taking 30 to 50% and have all our partners signed up that way. If it's out of network, we don't have an official relationship, we let the employee get it, and then we charge a transaction fee to the company. And that's in replace of any kind of subscription or platform fee, perfectly aligning the company with the employee with the actual learning budget they want to see go out the door. And I'll kind of wrap up here. Just a case study from a client we've been with for the past year and a half. Amazing, amazing results. Global reach, 92% activation rate. We have the ability to do this at scale and traction slide. We're at 800K in under a year of launching the product, 22 companies, 5,000 employees, and 100% customer retention. We attribute that not just to the product, but also the business model, which doesn't charge a platform fee just to be on board. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. And it is nice to see that it's whenever we work on a deck at Decko, it's always interesting to see whether or not founders change or manipulate the deck post creating it. And it looks like it stayed pretty similar to the deck that we worked on with you. So that always makes me happy to see. But why don't we jump right into some questions for Steve? And Raviv, if you want to throw Steve back onto the stage so that it's not just me here, that'd be awesome. So I have a couple questions for Steve. I'm a huge fan of this, but why don't we let anyone else who has some questions go first?
And if nobody else has questions, this is a great one. Congrats first on you said 800,000 in ARR right now. Great job on the traction. I think one of the questions I had was when you rolled out the Visa card. So is that for purposes primarily of tracking the spend is that why you're doing that, or is that also a revenue stream for you guys, or what's the relevance of the Visa card?
Yeah, great question. It's both. So we have a 5-year partnership with Visa. They have some money into the company as a launch bonus for working directly with them. We get an interchange fee of 1%. So when someone uses a Visa card to buy a e-learning course, we take $1 of that. And then ultimately, we built this with a design partner because the default model had companies reimbursing people for professional development. Think about a stipend or continuous learning budget. This was a huge unlock for 2 reasons. And we actually built this with the CFO of one of our customers. One, we want to prepay for this stuff, so we don't want any barriers. Our utilization jumped from 30% to over 50% as soon as we installed the cards. 2, there's no more user workflow in terms of keeping reimbursements together, uploading receipts, making sure people get paid on time. So it's really seamless for accounting. And then 3, you have all the security and data. So if your manager approves something, you can't go buy New York Yankees tickets. And I say that relevant to my space here, but it's locked just for the dollar amount and the place that you actually go. And so that allows it to be kind of a full-on solution. Just our mission is to make companies, employees, and providers seamlessly connect like we've never seen. And the virtual card allows everyone to benefit.
Really cool. And then one other question I had, and I'll let somebody else ask questions, but how many of the partners are in network versus out of network? I'm curious, like, is Pluralsight an in-network or are they an out-of-network provider?
Yeah, it's a good question. Pluralsight's in-network. We have about 25 and then another 5 to 10 that we're integrating onto the platform, which means you have over 550 that have been added by employees. And guess where we're getting the partners? It's when we see volume that comes from them. 1, we've already made the provider money. 2, we know there's going to be volume because we're going to serve that customer again next year when they look for it. 3, I don't think that a lot of the big brands that currently serve corporate learning and development are the best. If they sell on a subscription model, on a B2B model, the utilization isn't going to be high. And so I brag about having a partnership with LinkedIn Learning. Half of our customers come from LinkedIn Learning. The business model is that don't pay a subscription, buy an individual course when that person needs it. And if they don't need it, you'll never pay for it. And so we're debundling what's been going on in the learning and development market for the betterment of the company's budget and the employees' learning.
Love it. Great job.
Awesome. Steve, one of my favorite things about you is you're incredibly good at getting a story and answering questions concisely, which is really helpful. Maybe that's the diplomat in you. I'm not sure. But awesome. I have a couple questions, but we are running low on time. And Steve, you and I already are super tight, so I'll be able to probably ask you a couple offline anyways. But with that, why don't we, so Steve, thank you for hopping in, and again, stick around until the end. With that, before we jump into the next founder, pitching, why don't we bring Jeff onto the stage to tell us a little bit about Forecaster.
Man, I feel like I'm stealing all the time here. I was hoping somebody else would have some questions for Steve, because that was a great presentation. Well, hi again, everybody. My name is Jeff Erickson, and with Forecaster. Today, we do have a special offer on Forecaster, so any founders that do need help with your financial modeling, so building out kind of those revenue projections and your expenses and figuring out how long your runway is or is going to be when you raise, and then figuring out how you're going to utilize the capital that you are raising and being able to put that plan in place. That's what we do. We help companies do that. We assign every one of our clients a dedicated financial analyst that helps them build out their financial model in a software platform that integrates with their accounting. And so you can easily bring that data in. You can compare every month, how you did versus, what you projected. And for everybody on this call, we're giving you a 20% first-year discount on Forecaster. It's normally like $500 a month, and you can get it for $400 a month if you just go through Decko. You can reach out to me. I'll drop my contact info in the chat, and I can send a link as well. But yeah, feel free to take advantage of that, and would love to chat with you and walk you through a free demo of a Forecaster.
Awesome. All right, cool. Sweet. And one thing that I should mention that I feel remiss not mentioning is that part of the reason that we chose Keno to run this platform as well is because Raviv did beat me in Super Smash multiple times over. He did mention that to me in the chat, so I figured I'd get that in there. Forecaster, Jeff has been an amazing resource for our founders and the entire Forecaster team. If Decko is making pitch decks, Forecaster is making forecasts. They are the experts at it. They are the best in the business at it, and they have the platform to continue to do it after they set it up for you. So highly recommend creating your forecast with Forecaster. They have a idiot-proof platform for people like me to be able to use it easily, and I highly recommend it to any single one of our founders here. Jumping into the next one, we're going to be bringing Jaya onto the stage. Jaya is the founder and CEO of Atronis AI. So Jaya, why don't we bring Raviv, why don't we bring Jaya onto the stage and set up the timer, and we will get moving.
Hi all, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
My screen?
Yep.
Oh, all right, great. Thanks for the opportunity. I am Jaya and founder of Atronis, and I am based out of Fremont, California. So what I'll be talking to you about is Atronis. So we offer configurable off-the-shelf AI for businesses. So, a lot of businesses have data in multiple places. Data is fragmented, data is everywhere. So we bring together all of the data, synthesize all of that information, and use the power of generative AI to create a context-aware, personalized experience that deeply integrates with the business and helps their entire product experience come alive. This is our founding team. So I have been in the tech industry for close to 20 years. And prior to this, I led two engineering teams at Robinhood. And before that, I built a customer service automation platform at Uber, lowering costs by several basis points and bringing in billions of dollars in savings for the company. I led ad tech at Netflix prior to that. And I was also responsible for leading engineering teams at e-commerce companies like The RealReal, where I learned a lot about the retail business and how to and what are some of the problems there. My co-founders Neeru and Surajit have 2 decades of experience in product and.
Oh, looks like she got knocked out. Well, I'll give her a call in just a second to let her know to hop back in. It sounds like she may have to. It sounds like the problem is when you have bad connection and sharing the screen, it might have knocked you out. So there we go. She looks like she's hopping back in as we speak. And if not, I will give her a quick call. But worst case scenario, we'll let her pitch right at the end and move to Kartik, who hopped onto the call a little early, which is awesome. Kartik just came from another call right before this. So why don't we move to Kartik hopping on now. So Raviv, if you want to bring him onto the stage. And then from there, Kartik, if you have your screen ready to share, we'll dive right in.
Yeah, sounds good. Are we good to go? Can you see my screen?
It's activating. And go ahead and maybe turn off your video while you're presenting.
Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, should do the trick. Are you able to see my screen now?
We are...
Not yet. Give it a minute. No, let's say 10 seconds.
Let me just try it again. I think should work now.
Karthi, can you try to share your screen again? Just try to activate it again.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but the button won't let me. I think I have to rejoin for this. Give me 1 moment.
Awesome. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So while Kartik is rejoining, why don't we... So let's bring us back to stage view. So Raviv, if you want to throw us back onto the stage, perfect. Awesome. So while everyone else is rejoining, why don't we have Raviv, if you want, actually, looks like he is back in business. So he's trying to reconnect as we speak. If we don't hear from him in just a second or two, then we'll have Raviv hop onto the stage and share a little bit about Kino. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, Raviv, you want to hop in and say a couple words about Kino? Oh, looks like we got him.
Yeah. So first of all, Rob, yeah, I did kick your ass in Super Smash Bros. Sorry, can't lie, I'm not gonna lie about it. It was he got really frustrated, which is fine.
We'll talk about that another time. I had no reason.
All right, everyone. As I mentioned in the beginning of this Decko Day, excited to be here. Excited to host all of you on Kino. I have a question. I don't really, not everyone has video here, but how many of you are working remote? If you can just type something in the chat. If you're working remote, just type the number 1. So like we can see, oh, Ari is working remote. Or you can also wave. Wave works. Drew is working remote. Cool. Always fun. Cool. So a little bit of why we decided to have Kino be a remote platform for remote teams. It's because one of the issues that we have when we started developing Kino, we were just a scattered team across the world. We had like developers from Albania, we had people from New York and Israel and many other places. And there's always like the back and forth. So you go, you send something, it comes back to revision. You go, it sends something, it comes back to revision. Then we started using Kino as an online video workspace. When we did that, it felt like we could actually like connect. Like we could actually, I could see my team. They're with me right now on another tab, doing their work in their different spaces. Every person has a space, and we just hop between one another. And we have like someone needs something from me, or someone needs something from a colleague. It's easy to get. Everyone is accessible throughout the day. I saw that many of you, when you came in the different lounges, some of you activated the private spaces feature, which is another way for us to just say, I want to close the door. I don't want to be available for anyone right now. And that's pretty much what we did here with Kino. So I guess I don't want to take anyone else's time. Rob, is Jaya and Karthik back or not yet? I don't see them.
Why don't we wait for them to enter back into the waiting room? And in the meantime, why don't we choose, now's as good a time as any, to choose one of our guests here to be randomly selected to pitch. I'll take this run, and I will choose Ruben.
All right.
Ruben, why don't you come onto the stage?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I'm just going to get you on the stage in just a moment.
Okay, sounds good.
And you're on.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Just give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, and at the same time, just turn off your video as well, just to make sure that you're with a good connection.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that.
Raviv, you want to grab Jaya from the other space that she's in?
All right, my screen.
We see it.
Okay, perfect. Just give me 1 second. Let me put it on full screen. Okay.
Yeah, Ruben, just a heads up, if you can turn off your video, please.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I already turned it off. It's showing I already turned it off, Raviv, so I'm not sure if I need to do anything else.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. All right. So all good? You all can see my screen on full?
Yes.
Yes, we can now.
All right, sounds good. Hello everyone, my name is Ruben Mena and I am the founder of Yacht Notes. So, after graduating from New Mexico State University, I had the opportunity to study at the International University of Monaco. And after that, I worked in the super yacht industry, specifically with yacht charters. What are yacht charters? Yacht charters are
Did we lose Ruben as well?
I don't know what happened to Ruben.
Oh no.
Just experiencing a couple technical difficulties while we're working on this right now. So while we're getting everyone back in, Jaya is now back in. So why don't we have Jaya continue to pitch? And Jaya, why don't you go ahead and try to pitch without sharing your screen? We just finished up with your team. Perfect. So the bug is on screen sharing. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to give her another call, tell her to rejoin, and then have her join in without screen sharing. Same goes for Kartik. Raviv Kartik is stuck in the waiting room right now. We're trying to rejoin if we want to try to get him on board. Same, I'm sure, goes for Ruben if we want to let him in as well. So while we're working on that, why don't we take a couple-minute break here and maybe hop into some of the other spaces that are going on so that we can all get to know each other a little bit better while we're working on this. So Raviv, if you want to start to bring everyone back to the spaces, perfect. And we'll all hop into our respective spaces. So great. Perfect. Actually, why don't we do this? While we're waiting for everyone to join in, because we've all gotten a chance to join. So Jeff, we're going to bring you back in, Jeff and Michael. Why don't we have Jonathan share a little bit about Startup Stack? And Jonathan, why don't you hop onto the stage here? And we'll bring you here to talk to us a little bit about Startup Stack and how you do what you do and how you support founders.
Yeah, happy to share. When COVID started, we were really worried about the impact that was going to have on startups. And Jeff and I kind of came together and said, hey, let's put together some great resources for startups from our network. And it started with a humble beginning of, I think we had 6 deals worth $50,000 in savings on SaaS spend with valuable services, and just organically grew that to where now we have almost $2 million worth of potential savings for startups. And we've always been very founder-centric and founder-forward with this. We want to extend your runway and just help you to focus on building an amazing business and not having to worry about expensive overhead. Because we've definitely noticed that as when you're working on a tight budget, sometimes your systems live in Google spreadsheets all the time. And then, when it's time to actually scale and to grow, those systems don't scale with you. But when it's super affordable, 90% off on essential services, for example, you're going to build a much more mature business much sooner. And so that's what we're trying to set you up with at startupstack.com. And so also, if you have any sort of services, anyone on this call that works with startups, we'd love to promote you to our audience. So we currently reach about 200,000 founders across all of our channels. And so we love founders. We love to support you. We love what this is about. And so just, go team.
Awesome. So while we're dealing with some technical difficulties for today, why don't we go ahead and perhaps move into voting for the winner? So we've heard from Steve and we've heard from Fiona today. We'll bring everyone back in for another one for their future Decko days. But for now, Raviv, why don't you go ahead and share a link to the voting in the chat. From there, we'll leave a few minutes for everyone to vote on their favorite and their winner, and we'll go ahead and pick a winner from there. Awesome. So voting is now officially in the chat, everybody. I'm going to cast my vote too. It's all good, Jai. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you in for the next Decko Day, and you're going to pitch at the next Decko Day. We're going to move into voting just for now. There's just been some technical difficulties, which we're going to fix for the upcoming Decko Day. But yeah. So feel free also, Jai, you're also in on the vote. There's a vote in the public chat. You want to vote between One Range and Viewpoint Sims. Awesome. While we're doing that, I've got a live tally going over here. We're going to leave another 2 minutes to get the last of the votes in. This is the big moment, guys. All right, it looks like we got everyone's votes in. And with that, we have our winner. Congratulations to Steve. Steve, you're this week's winner. I mean, this month's winner for this month's Decko Day. It was a close vote. You guys both did a great job. Steve eked out just a little bit on top there. But I got to say, both of you guys really did do incredible jobs. You both had really well put together presentations. Both presented beautifully. Both have really interesting businesses across different industries as well. And so it's been really great getting to know the two of you on this Decko Day. This has also been recorded, so we'll chop this up into some clips that we'll be able to share as well in the future. And yeah, with that, if anyone has any closing things they'd like to say to everyone on this month's Demo Day, please feel free to hop on, and if not, then we can go ahead and conclude. All right. So that sounds like a plan. Fiona just wrote in here, thank you all for listening, and congratulations to Steve. Ari, thank you for also saying something there. Oh, it looks like we're getting a few more things in the chat. Cool. Cool. So feel free to hang out on this keynote for a little bit to all get to know each other. But with that, the first inaugural Decko Day has officially come to a close. So thanks everyone for coming in, and we'll see you at the next one.
Hey, thanks, Robert.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. And if all of the partners can go ahead and just hang out on the line for just a little bit longer as well. All right, cool. And then, awesome. So Fiona, also let's you and I catch up separately. I'd love to talk about what you're up to. I have some people who may be interested in what you're doing too.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me today.
Awesome.
Great
totally.
job, Fiona.
Thank you. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Let's see you. Okay, cool. Great, and then we'll just bring, of course, we still have Tice on the line. Tice, thank you for hopping in today. Oh, she may not be there. Also, why don't we go ahead and